Now that we've got a knowledge of how to find the percent of 100, a 10 and a 1, we've got to make it a bit easier because it's quite a laborious process. So meaning quite long and quite difficult to break up a number into their place value parts. I'll give you an example. Let's say we have 177. Well, the first step I would have to do if we went through the whole process, we'd have to find, and I want to say 40% of 177. I'd have to find the first part, which is 100. Now, I'm not going to use a diagram for this, because by now you should have an understanding of what this means if you're watching this video. So, what we need to look at is our first part, 100. Well, 40% means 40 for each 100. Yeah, I have 100 in total. I have 40 parts. Multiply. So my first part would be, there would be 40 parts, 40 times 1. My next part, I need to find the tens. Well, 40% also means 4 for each 10. Okay, so I've got 7 tens. Okay, you can have a look. And I've got 4 for each 10. All right, multiply that so I can find out how many in total. That gives me 28. Okay, and then finally, after all of that, we've got to find how many for each 1. Okay, now I can use my reasoning here because I know there are 7 ones, but let's go it out. 40%, and I apologise for a bit of a jagged approach. 40% means 4/10 for each 1. Now, 40%, we have 7 ones in total. 4/10 for each. Multiply it. Now, that would make 2 and 8/10. Then we would have to add them all up. And our total, we have to do another formula, another algorithm. Oops. So 8, 10. So we would have our total 70 and 8/10 is 40% of 177. Whew, that's a lot of working out in one page. That would take too long if we got into the thousands, the 10,000s, the millions, the tens of millions. Far too long. So we need to think of a better way. Now, first steps first. We could think, let's do the same example. 40% of 177. Let's rename this number. How many tens in 177? Well, there are 17. So we know 40% means 4 for each 10. All right, cool. We've already knocked out a step here because we've got 17 tens, not 107 tens. We have 17 tens. So what that really means is we've got 17 tens in total. We have 4 for each 10. So we want to see how many in total. 4 times 7 is 28 ones, 2 tens. 4 times 1 10 is 40, and 60. 68 so far. Our next step, we would have to also again go back and find our ones, because we found our tens, we need to find our ones. So we'd have to have a second step. 40% means 4 tenths for each one. All right, I've got 7 ones in total. 4 tenths for each one. I've got 2 and 8 tenths. And if I add those two up, I've got 70 and 8 tenths. So 40% of 177 is 70 and 8 tenths. Now, if I look back, that's a lot less working out than this one, and I've got the same result. Okay, so we're getting better. Still lots of working out here though. Uh-oh. What can we do? Well, we need to rename again. So we need to look at how to do, or how to find a percent of a number without having to go through all of the steps. So we'll go with the same example. 40% of 177 equals. Now, I don't want to look at the tens anymore and the ones individually. I need to rename them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my number a little bit differently. I'm going to say this number is not 100, 7 tens, 7 ones, or 17 tens and 7 ones. I'm going to say it's 177 ones. And I know that 40% means 4 tenths per one, or for each one. So all I need to do now is 177 ones in total multiplied by 4 tenths for each one. Now, at this stage, you can use a calculator to help you with the working out, because I haven't taught you how to multiply a decimal by a large number like this. Otherwise, just listen ahead. 4 tenths times 7 is 2 ones and 8 tenths. 4 tenths times 7 tens is 28 ones, 0 tenths. 4 tenths times 100 equals 40 and 0 tenths. Now, this is only one way you can multiply a decimal by a whole number. There are other ways, but I'm not going to get into them just yet. So 8 tenths, add the other zeros, 8 tenths. 2 ones plus 8 is 0 ones and 1 10. 4 tens plus 2 tens plus 1 10 is 70 and 8 tenths. So our answer is 70 and 8 tenths. So 40% of 177 equals 70 and 8 tenths. Let's have a quick look back. Same answer. Same answer. But can you notice the difference with the amount of working out I had to do each time? Much, much less this time. So the one thing I need you to take away from this video is when we're finding a percent, we can find it per 100, we can find it per 10, we can find it per 1, we can find it per 1,000, per 10,000. However, what we want to do is not go through each and every step, because our page will be filled with working out. We need to realise that we can rename them all into ones. And we know that 40% means 4 tenths. 50% is 5 tenths for each one. 60% is 6 tenths for each one. 75% is 75 hundredths for each one, because we know that our percentage and our decimals are linked together.